step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams.
What's up, everybody? We are live here on a Tuesday night like we do every Tuesday night. We're in the Lion's Den. Father's Day just passed, so shout out to all the fathers out there, all the real ones. Y'all know what it is. This is a channel that celebrates fathers, and if you're here, you know that, so we're going to get into it. You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yep. That's right, Young Lion TV. We are in the building. We're here. Shout out to everybody who is in the chat right now. I see people chiming in. Shout out to Emma, my brother from soccer, my Cameroonian brother. And I see my mom on there watching. My mom is not here tonight because she is a little bit under the weather. So we got someone else holding down the production today. I see Theris. I saw Jeffrey on there. Shout out to all the Patreon members. If you're in here, you know what it is. This is the Young Lion TV podcast. This is a group of men, brothers, sons, fathers, husbands that, you know, we care about our community, and we want to have conversations that build and uplift our community and, you know, hash things out. We talk about culture, politics. We talk about our faith in Jesus Christ. We talk about relationships. We talk about a lot of different things that you don't see a lot of men talking about, which we want to change that narrative where men don't only just talk about sports, music, you know, the typical things. We talk about real stuff here. So if that's something you can get down with, make sure you guys go on over and sign up to be a Patreon member. Support what we do. Head on over to patreon.com/YoungLionTV, where you can sign up for as little as $3 a month and become a member and support the cause of building the Young Lion community. Shout out to all of our Patreon members who are already on the chat. Like I said, Jeffrey, Theris, my mom. I saw Courtney, another Patreon member. Emma is a Patreon member as well. We appreciate all of you guys. Also, we have the merch if you guys want to support what we do. The page didn't load for some reason, but we do have merch like the Young Lion hats, the T-shirt that Moon is wearing today. You'll see it. It is available on our website, and that is at jatan.com/shop, where you can get that merch right there. And also, if we have a show coming up, anybody in the Philly, Jersey area, tickets are going. So if you want to come to a live show, it's going to be a great night of music. We're doing brand new songs that we've never, ever done before. And we're doing songs that we haven't done in years. So it's going to be a fun show. That is at the City Winery in Philadelphia on July 26th. So come on out. First, you got to go to the website, get your tickets so you can get a good seat at a good table. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So come on out there to do that. Without further ado, though, I got sitting with me on the other seat. He is the most confusing man in the podcast world. He is in a new seat today. Mm-hmm. How you liking that seat?
I'm liking the seat, man.
Yeah. You got a little armrest there.
Yeah.
You don't got to clutch the pillow. You got it on the other side.
Yeah.
This brother loves having a pillow with him on the show.
I bring it with me.
Yeah. He's like, that's his pod pillow right there. But he is the most confusing man in the podcast world because he looks black, but he eats Indian.
Yeah.
And he is the half black, half Indian with the Spanish last name. He is Mr. James Garcia.
I think people don't know because I don't have no hair. You know,
What do you mean? Like they don't know that you're Indian?
part Indian.
Yeah.
They don't see it.
They got to see the young you when you had the
when I had the curl.
the Husvanting. Husvanting. And then, of course, you know, because my mom is not here, we got another producer over there holding it down. I think he just hit the wrong camera.
Sure did.
Is it 4?
No, it's 4.
There he is.
So he's ready.
Right to the next one.
He already messing up, Mom.
I don't
See,
do it often.
he already messing up, but he's got a nice hat on, and we are so grateful that he is holding it down tonight over there on the production side. He is the coolest Asian,
Full Asian.
in
Not
the
half.
world.
Full.
Yeah,
Well, everybody's mixed, man.
yeah. I mean, Southeast Asians are mixed. Period. They're mixed with a lot of different things.
I bet you if I did that 23andMe thing,
You're
you'll
European.
find some Indian in me.
You better believe it.
Indian, maybe some
Chinese.
some
Well,
African.
Well, Cameroonians eat a lot of curry too.
They do.
We do.
That's Thai is my favorite food. That's
Thai is your favorite Southeast Asian?
Thai. Actually, I like Vietnamese too. but
I got to disagree with you on that one, man.
I like Thai.
Thai is good, but they ain't touching the Vietnamese and Cambodians. And that ain't just because that's my best friend.
I've never, aside from him, I mean, I love the way he cooks, but I have never had like like a Cambodian restaurant.
Yeah,
There's not many.
we got to take him one day.
I know there's one in South Philly that I went to.
Yeah, or you got to make him some stuff, man. You got to make him some salal.
I mean, I love the beef stick. I know he does.
Yeah,
That's barbecue food.
yeah,
It's good to me.
It's hard. It's hard not to like that, that type of stuff.
yeah. I'll make you some amok one day.
Yeah.
That's good too.
I want to try it. I do like Vietnamese too.
Yeah.
That's another one.
What have you had
just
Vietnamese
switching all
besides
over.
just pho?
I've had their rice and I've had like their it's like I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a grilled pork with like an egg, like a half.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 I love
yeah.
that.
That's good.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I was
Yeah.
like,
what
this is
that's
actually
Yeah.
That has basil in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Basil with like pickled onions.
Yep.
I
Yep.
was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, that's better than Thai food.
Yeah, you know why I like Thai? Because of the coconut curry.
Thai is good. I like the coconut milk in the curry, but Thai food can be a little sweet for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They overdo it
Most
with
Thai places actually is too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I normally look at the little peppers. If it has like 3, I'm like, all right, I'll be good.
Yeah.
If there's no peppers, it's gonna be sweet.
Yeah. But anyway, he's the coolest Asian in the podcast world. He is Mr. Simone Chang over there. He took the camera off himself, but yeah, shout him out. Thank you guys for watching. Father's Day. Oh yeah, and I am of course, I am the navigator of the podcast ship over here. Again, every light-skinned guy with a beard that you know in your family or on TV, that is me, Jamie Evans. Courtney just chimed in. She said, "Happy Tuesday, family. Happy Tuesday to you, Courtney." That's our sister / Patreon member. We appreciate her very much. Mom says, "I thought you were going on vacation today."
I am. Not today, tomorrow.
He's going tomorrow. So, yeah, Father's Day
Father's Day.
just happened. Everybody, how was everybody's Father's Day?
It was good, man. Good.
What'd y'all do?
I was just telling Simone, I had a little bit of sciatica pain, so I stayed home. But the wife cooked some food and just kind of hung out, and it was quiet.
Did you get the typical Father's Day gifts?
What was that?
You know, the tie, the
No,
socks, the underwear. those
No.
things.
She actually, I know she probably listened. She actually got me an iPhone.
Oh,
Upgraded.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a nice Father's Day
nice
gift
gift.
right
Nice
there.
gift,
Yeah.
nice gift, no complaints.
Yeah. I definitely got some socks. Definitely got my mom and Liz got me socks. So I got a lot of socks. But I love socks.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Brand
Listen,
new socks.
one of my favorite gifts is fresh socks. Because socks, first of all, they always get lost in the laundry and then they deteriorate so fast. So I love some fresh socks.
Right.
But I did get a tie from Aria.
Oh, nice.
But it was one of those, them school projects and it was shaped like it was like a tie that they had to write stuff on, like things I love about my dad or whatever. So it was funny reading her little stuff.
I didn't get an iPhone.
Me either.
I got some really nice spices for the grill because I've been grilling a lot. I've been grilling like every day.
Don't you love when you get gifts that are like for everyone? It's like, I'm gonna get you some spices so you can
Tupperware.
cook me food that I love. Cook me
Thanks.
better food.
I've always wanted Tupperware.
Yeah, those are definitely Father's Day gifts.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Ali Sadiq who had the Father's Day joke? Everybody plays every Father's Day. Father's Day ranks lower than Arbor Day.
What is Arbor Day? Columbus Day.
Yeah. Yeah, Mother's Day is right under like Christmas and Thanksgiving, right?
That's because guys are simple. They don't really.
Yeah.
Most men don't really want anything.
And men we don't require acknowledgement in that way. Like it's nice.
It's nice. Yeah.
It's nice to know that your family loves you.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool.
I think the internet, because everybody puts the meme of Mother's Day with the lobster dinner,
Yeah.
and then dad is the TV dinner.
Yeah.
So women feel like they can't go out like that, so they have to step it up a little bit. But
Yeah, nowadays, like, you get roasted, so Jeffrey said, Morning Jess sent me some beef jerky for Father's Day. Yeah, that's a nice gift.
Save some for me.
Beef jerky is one of the most
jerky.
expensive things in the world, bro.
It's so expensive,
Why is
right?
it so expensive?
Right.
It's just dried out beef.
Moan probably opened it, took a bite out of 2 pieces.
No.
Was it like a special beef jerky or was it like ShopRite brand?
No, it was
Walmart brand?
It wasn't.
It was-
It wasn't
okay.
Walmart. It was directly sent. It was same day delivery.
Oh, nice.
Nice. You get them the good stuff.
Yeah.
You ever tried smoked salmon?
Of course.
Yeah, that's good.
I had that actually. Liz made me that after I got back
Yeah.
from soccer on Father's Day. I had that on some bagels waiting for
Yeah,
me.
that's-
Yeah,
Felt
lox,
like
right?
felt like a
They
Jew,
call-
man. I was
Yeah.
like, this is the most Jewish breakfast.
Whoa. But
Lox and bagels and cream cheese, man. It was delicious.
With some capers.
Yeah, with capers, literally. Yeah, that's what she made. Delicious. Yeah, but I also I had to give a shout out to I posted a clip about my dad
Yeah, I saw that.
that kind of went crazy viral. You know, I was missing my dad because it was his birthday. Every year growing up, it was like, I don't know. It was like June. This time around, June used to annoy me because it was my dad's birthday.
Yep.
Then it was my mom's birthday. Then it was Father's Day.
Yep.
Right after that.
Broke.
So I was be broke, man. And now my daughter's birthday,
Yep.
my mom's birthday,
Yeah.
Father's Day, and my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
But because my dad passed away, I don't have to get him a gift anymore for Father's Day. But I did, like, recently. You guys know I went to his house and like got a bunch of his old stuff, got his records, got a bunch of VHS tapes, got his old computer, which I had to take apart, take the hard drives out because it wouldn't even power on anymore. So I had to take the hard drives out and get them booted up. And I started going through like his archives, and he had there's so many videos. He literally had every like week of Elisa's life from when he was when she was, because he used to watch her for me all the time.
Yeah.
And he was constantly videoing her and taking pictures. Like he was so in love with her, and it was just crazy to see all of the videos that he had of her as a baby. Like,
It was touching, bro.
Yeah.
Like just watching that video, it just like reminded me. He always used to say Pop-Pop's little
sunshine. I forgot about that too.
Man, it's just.
And then
it touched my heart. Like,
there was a video. You saw the video I posted.
She's the only grandchild he met.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was his first and only that he ever even met. So he was so in love with her, and like, you know, that was his nickname for her, Pop-Pop's Little Sunshine. So he was constantly making videos with her. Like there's videos of him like making her play piano,
Yeah, I did
like
see that, yeah.
like videos of her with his bass. You know, it's so funny, bro. But I posted one of him killing it on stage with Chubby Checker.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I would forget, like, and I would tell people, like, yo, my dad was a beast on bass. And it's like, it's easy for you to say that,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
because it's your dad.
Because it's your dad.
People don't really believe you.
They know that, like, yeah, you're biased. But it was crazy to see me post this, and, like, everybody was commenting and sharing it. Hold on, I'm gonna play it real quick. And we've seen this live. We went to the Chubby shows. I forgot, and then rewatching this, I was like, yo, I gotta post this clip because it's like, and it wasn't even just like his ability, because I was talking to Dave about it. Like, look at him right here jumping and playing at the same time. you know, I was talking to Dave about it, and he was like talking about how we took for granted him as a bass player, you know, because we've seen so many musicians in our travels, and that's always been the bar for me. You know what I mean? So it's just like I grew up around that guy. So no one's ever, I haven't run into anybody, and I know there's like, you know, there's great bass players, Larry Graham, Marcus Miller, you know, James Jamerson, all these people that are amazing bass players. But I'm talking about like in our circles, just like running around, just meeting musicians, playing shows all over. I've never ran into anybody who was like, yo, that dude's better than my dad. You know what I mean? Right. And like for Chubby to even like, because he was Chubby's music director, but for him to take and feature him that way during the show with a bass solo, and then like a whole, and then he would do another song where my dad was singing and play bass. Like he used to. I
never knew your dad could sing.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So and then I sent you.
Yeah. I listened to the whole thing.
You listened to the whole EP.
Man, awesome.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, man. Super talented, man.
Because I was telling James like, I found my dad's old demo tape. I said, yo, I'm gonna post it up. I'm gonna put it up on YouTube and like put that out there. And I was like, yo, I need to do it on Father's Day. Like, why not do it on Father's Day? So I put a post together and put that up, and I sent it to you. Yeah. Because I knew you would appreciate like that style of production. Yeah. That was like heavy in the 80s, very musician heavy, lots of solos. You know what I mean? And I grew up with all those musicians that played on that. Like, those guys were just around all the time. Yeah. You know, and
bro, maybe this is me just thinking. Maybe we just climax, put it out. You know? We'll do some artwork, find some old.
We could. Like,
it was.
It's good like, stuff.
Top notch production.
Yeah.
You could tell he poured a lot of his himself into. Because, I mean, I spent a couple of times learning from your dad. Yeah. And your dad was big about harmonics. Mm-hmm. Like he, you know, of course, I'm excited to learn, but I myself, like, I didn't grow up playing music. Yeah. So he was like, listen, he's like, it's okay to like music and enjoy it. He's like, but if you're going to ever try to play music, you have to understand the formula of music. Mm-hmm. He's like, there's two types of ears. There's ears to listen and enjoy the music, and then there's ears to listen
and analyze
and be able to really soak in the notes and like why people are doing what they're doing. Yep. And it made me look at music, because I would go over there, I would sit down, I'd bring my bass, and we would talk, and then he would play certain records with certain bass. And honestly, after learning harmonics from him, then I actually was able to really pick up, because I wasn't able just to pick up the bass, I could pick up the timing. Because he's like, 1, 2, 3, then this is coming in, then this is coming in. So the drums, you know, the bass, then the keyboard and the guitar. He's like, all of these things coincide. So when you sit down with somebody like that, who is explaining how music is put together, because let's be honest, the average person, we like a song, maybe the lyrics or the beat. Right? Yeah. And that's it for us, really. But to really understand the harmonics of how things are working, the symphony, he was the one that taught me that. And I was like, I could hear it. And he was like, so he would take my hand, and he was like, listen, and he would put his hand on my hand, and he was like, all right, 1, 2, 3. He's like, then. And I'm learning the rhythm.
He's showing you how, like putting it in application.
And I'm like, wow. Like, I can tell. He's like, now you'll be able to tell when the bass is going to come in, when the bass stops, when this is happening. And I was like, dang, like that, it is. So to know that side of him, you know, I was like, wow, man, he really understood his craft.
Oh, absolutely. Yo, he was a master. Yeah. A master. Like, everything that he taught us that we took for granted when we were coming up, young guys, just like I have videos on the hard drive of him in our rehearsal, and he's like, you know how he used to do this when he would walk around, he would do this as he was thinking, and he's just walking around the rehearsal room. And he's like, all right, y'all gonna do the polyrhythmic exercise, and then we'll do a 1-6-4-5 and go around the entire cycle of fifths in a 1-6-4-5. and then we'll do My Funny Valentine, and then we're like, okay, and then we start doing it. You know what I mean? It's like I was like, man, this dude was, because he was training our ears,
Yeah.
but it also our vocals at the same time,
Yeah.
training us to hear harmonies, to hear chord changes, to hear rhythms. Like he was doing so much for us, teaching us music theory at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, which I went to college for music theory, but me and Jake did, but the rest of the guys didn't. But they learned just as much as we did.
Yeah.
Because of my dad.
Yeah. Because he's making you do. You know, I was thinking after you sent me that album, and I listened to it. I was thinking this, right? I don't think it's so much our generation's fault, because we weren't given the kids that grew up in the 90s, aside from Mint Condition, Mint Condition, Tony,
Yeah.
The Roots, like I'm specifically speaking about the R&B hip hop crowd. There was really no band.
Yeah.
Right? So an R&B act started to be more vocalist based.
Yeah.
So bands like, you know, they just weren't there. So
Musicianship
left, right?
Yeah.
And then the producers.
Yeah, it was the era of the Timberlands,
Yeah, you're right.
the Neptunes,
Right.
These like producer teams that were putting together beats for R&B artists.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think people
Even
would
Babyface time before that.
Yeah.
Too.
And he could play.
There was a
Babyface
lot
could
of-
play. But
Yeah.
it's more the balladeer kind of songs.
Yeah.
That kind of took off. You know what I mean? And they were good.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, but the thing about the Babyface era was there was still real musicianship. There was real
But it wasn't
play.
highlighted.
There wasn't highlighted, but it
Yeah.
was in the music.
It was in the
so
music.
so people that fell in love with those songs were still being at least exposed to more complex chordal structures.
Yeah.
These bridges, like this Tevin Campbell trend that popped off. The Tevin Campbell
Can we talk?
challenge, the Can We
Yeah.
Talk challenge, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was talking about how, like, you know, can you sing the Tevin Campbell thing because of his vocal range? But no one talked about like the chord structure that was happening underneath that.
Is that Quincy?
No, that was Babyface.
Okay.
That's Babyface. And then the bridge, because then the challenge was, okay, you could sing that, but can you sing the bridge? And the bridge is a whole key change. The bridge is like a whole, and that was that was the Babyface thing, was like once you go to the bridge, it becomes this whole other thing.
Yeah.
And I, like you said, I think like after that era, when you get into the more, it was like a mesh between hip hop and R&B with Timberland and Neptunes, you know, try to think
R.
of somebody
Kelly
else.
too.
Thanks, P. Diddy.
P. Diddy's another
Teddy
one.
Riley.
Teddy Riley, yeah. It became more about just the beat, you know,
Yeah.
the beat, and it wasn't about doing anything interesting musically anymore.
Right.
It was just about like finding cool sounds and like finding cool drum samples. Like that became the focus of production.
It was hip hop but singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they dress like them too.
Yep.
Because you think about like the 80s, the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, just there were full bands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, full on, you know, musicians, like a
Yep.
full set, man. Like, you know, Confunction had like 13, 15 members in it.
Yep.
You know, it's like that's on all musicians.
And that's what you hear on those records that my dad did.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't like these big productions, they were low budget.
Yeah.
But for that time in the 80s, with those musicians he had on that, those guys were some of the best guys in this area.
Oh yeah.
And
And it was tight.
yeah, super tight. Super great
And
production.
I can tell now, for me, when I listen to something, I can tell when it's a studio. I can tell when I'm listening to a studio setup versus when it's real musician and producers behind it. You know why? Because the solos and the changeovers are way more refined.
Yeah.
They're not worried about making whittling down the songs. Like,
Yeah.
even the solos, the percussionists, of your dad, you could see,
Yeah.
you could hear them putting in their heart and soul.
Shout out to Edgardo Cintrone. He played percussion on all
Yeah.
those songs, and that dude is a monster. He
Yeah.
lives in Cherry Hill.
He does?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, that's good friend of ours. He's like my uncle, and him and my mom are still good friends.
Yeah. All of them were talented.
Yeah,
All of them were talented. And like I said, I didn't know your dad could sing.
that's crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
He wasn't a show off in that way.
no,
Even when I was taking a few lessons from him, he never tried to.
he never said, "Give me the bass, let me show you how it's done."
He didn't. Because I was so interested in slapping.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
He was like, no, don't.
And the thing is, my dad loved slap. Like he wanted to be Larry Graham when he was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're right. Like because he came up under a jazz teacher.
Yeah.
And so his wheelhouse was he learned jazz first. You know what I mean? Then he got into funk himself.
Yeah.
Figured that out.
Yeah.
But also was a heavy into Latin, Afro-Cuban rhythms and these Brazilian jazz groups and so many different genres of music.
Yeah, and that was his thing. He would say to me, he's like, if you have to learn the feel, you have to learn with the fingers first before you get into all of that. He's like, those are tricks that you can. And then he told me about how Larry came up with that.
Yep.
They didn't have a bass player, and Larry was like, all right.
No, they didn't have a drummer.
A drummer, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A drummer. And so
he said, I got to make the bass sound like the drummer and the bass player at the same time.
Even though I liked it, he was like, you can't do that on every song.
Yeah.
So if you master that, he's like, that's all you'll be able to do.
Yep.
Versus, and I was like, oh.
And that is the truth.
Yeah.
And that is also how he took his approach with us as singers. Yeah. Like he made us learn doo-wop. He made us learn, jazz. He made us learn standards. Yeah. Like we were singing Autumn Leaves. Yep. like we were singing old doo-wop songs. My Funny Valentine. Oh What a Night. I mean, one of the first chord progressions he made us sing vocally was the 1-6-4-5, which was the standard, rock and roll 1950s chord progression. The Stand By Me.
He was like, what did he say? He said, if you guys want to do this, you got to learn where it came from.
Yep.
You got to know the history.
Yep.
Yeah. But isn't that what like Motown used to do? Like the studios, but Motown was famous for this. They would send off their artists to.
They were more famous for sending them to like, what's it called? Where you learn how to be proper.
Oh, okay.
What's that called? Etiquette school. There you go. Yeah, etiquette school. Like they did that more. They didn't really. I don't remember them being like developing people musically. Right. They would take artists and talent vocalists and they would teach them how to be a star, basically.
Maybe that's what's missing too. It's somebody can sing today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's say you have a bit of a vocal range, but they don't really need you doing all the extra stuff. They need you to stay in the lane. Yeah. So you're not like vocally, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you're not.
What's so funny?
I would just laugh because mom said you also sang Maria Maria.
We did sing Maria Maria, which my dad also was a fan of because he loved Carlos Santana. Yeah. So, but and that was the other thing. Like he challenged us, but he also let us explore who we wanted to be as artists. Like the music that we wanted to do. He never said, "I don't do that." He would let us do what we wanted to do, but make us learn.
Be open.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great to just like see that stuff and remember it.
Super talented guy, man.
And looking back, bro, like that really kind of galvanized us, or like it prepared us for the things that we did, like the PBS special, us being on MTV. We were able to learn, man, like the music part. I remember MTV was like, the music part wasn't that tough.
Nope.
For me, it was like
the choreography,
all the dance and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do this. But it, like he really prepared us, man. Like
musically, it was not a challenge. He definitely prepared us for that. So shout out to my dad, man. I miss that dude.
Yeah, dang,
it's been 12 years. Yep. Yeah. 12 years since he passed away. But it was great to see like a lot of the musicians that were involved like reached out to me or commented or told me little stories about their time together. So it was cool to see all of that. Yeah. And we ended up covering one of those songs. We did back to back. We did a version of back to back. Did you hear that one?
Listen to that?
The Latin one.
Yeah.
Back to back, belly to belly.
The funny thing is, a lot of these songs were written about my mom. You know that, right?
I did not know.
Where did we go?
Back to back.
Where did we go wrong? Can this really be over? Like, this was all during when they was. Yeah. I told my mom that. She was like, "What?" Yeah.
Right. His style. He had the stash.
Yep.
Afro.
Yeah.
The roll of sleeves.
He's got one picture, man, just looked like that time.
Lionel Richie album cover, boy. I know. I was laughing at some of those pictures. James said he looked like Miami Vice. Yeah, man. Yeah, but that was good to reminisce during Father's Day. But yeah, so Father's Day was cool. Everybody remember their fathers. Fathers are important. Yeah. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have mine in my life.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so moving on, let's talk about some stuff that's been going on, man. Have you guys been hearing about the new terminology that they are new language? You know what I always say about new language. You gotta look out for that spell of the new language. There's this new language that they unleashed this week. It's called a cheap fake. Not a deep fake. A cheap fake. Have you heard about this?
What's that mean?
No. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to show this video of course, Joe Biden. He was at the G7 summit with Zelensky.
In his T-shirt?
No, he didn't have his T-shirt on this time. I don't know why. But let's play this real quick.
Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky.
Did you guys hear that?
Donald Trump.
Let me play that again. Play that again.
Fired.
Donald Trump and Vladimir Zelensky speaking in just a moment at the G7 summit in Puglia, Italy. It is expected that they will sign an agreement, a 10-year agreement to give security.
You know the QAnon people went crazy with that. Mm-hmm. The truth out loud. Donald Trump's the actual president.
To Ukraine, which is what they are doing right now. Again, this is something that the United States hopes lives on well past Donald.
A 10-year security deal.
Wow.
A 10-year deal. And then wait. Oh, I got to keep playing it because watch.
United States hopes lives on well past President Biden.
She's about to say it again.
Yep.
Wow.
You know they got her boy.
About to say it again, bro.
His first term, potentially even his second term. Again, it is a 10-year deal to flood Ukraine with funding. They are in a peak battle
flood
right
Ukraine.
now.
Flood Ukraine with funding.
10 years.
For 10 years.
10 years, man.
Can we secure our border?
My daughter will be 16.
Bro, that's crazy.
Wow. I mean, at this point in time, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's a joke at this point. Like, we're just...
Literally just handing over money.
For no reason.
I think that's not really him.
That's not really who? Which one?
Joe Biden.
You think
it's somebody with a mask?
You think it's you're going into the fake mask conspiracy?
Wasn't this guy a comedian?
Yes, he was a comedian.
He was a comedian.
Yes. Zelensky was a comedian turned politician. Nothing suspicious about that at all.
A comedian on Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
Signed a deal for 10 years.
So another clip of Biden went viral because they were doing like some parachute thing and he just kind of like walked off and got lost.
Oh, I saw that.
You saw that? Okay.
That was really
so that's where the cheap fake term came from. Let's go to CBS for the insert the spell language here.
They call him Donald Trump again.
I know. So this is them trying to, and they've been on this tear this week, just trying to stop people from posting these videos of Biden doing weird stuff.
You've probably heard of deep fakes, but just last week, as President Biden was at the G7 summit in Italy, cheap fake clips went viral on social media and were picked up by some news outlets. Take a look at this clip.
What is that even supposed to mean? What? Cheap fake.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
an explanation. It's like you can't call it a deep fake because it's a real footage.
Yeah.
So you have to come up with another term, to try to discredit it in a way where it's like a sneaky discredit.
Right.
It's a spell. Yeah. Oh, don't pay attention to this. Yeah. So now anytime a clip of Biden doing something stupid or freezing up or, oh, it's cheap fake. That's a cheap fake. Russian. It's Russian cheap fake. Look, cheap fakes of President Biden going viral. So this is Macron. Who else is here? Trudeau. The president of Italy is there.
Hillary right there?
No, that's the president of Italy.
Oh, okay.
They're all there, and look which direction they're all looking, because where the cameras are, right?
Right.
The press is all there. They're all looking there. They're looking at the guy who just landed in the parachute, right? Yeah. And where is Biden looking?
Bernie's is not
skydiving demonstration before the president is seen walking away and looking in another direction. Outlets
to the point where look at the president of Italy,
sort of just aimlessly.
She goes and grabs him and points him back in the right direction.
Millions of views within just a few hours, when actually if you widen out, you can see that he was talking to one of the members of the military. That
was he talking to one of the members? Why don't you show us the clip of this widened out?
Participating in that demonstration. So how prevalent are cheap fakes, and how big of a problem will they be in this election? Well, let's take a look with executive editor of CBS News Confirmed, Rona Tarrant, who joins us now from Studio 57.
This lady's going to tell us how we shouldn't watch any of these. Don't believe your eyes, guys.
So tell us how long cheap fakes have been around. I'm assuming they've
You
been...
see how they keep saying it? Yeah. They're trying to get it to
cheap
stick.
Cheap fakes have been around for 5 minutes. We totally made it up in the boardroom where we were talking about it. We were like, how can we spin this?
We did a focus group on what type of terminology could get people tricked the fastest.
And they're always saying that. We're going to go to executive or some expert.
Yeah, some expert of something.
Yeah.
She's in Studio 57.
Well, you got a cheap fake degree, I see.
You got a degree in cheap. But anyway, so that's them capable. And then right after that, the best press secretary of all time.
Speaking of fake, look at the hair.
Yeah. Speaking of cheap fakes.
Not nice. Not nice. It's her real hair.
Okay, buddy. So this is her being.
I hope that leaf blower.
One of the press guys in the room like teed her up with this question so that she could insert the term.
Checks in the mail. Yep. Don't go down on purpose.
Yeah. Here we go.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more of.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation.
Yeah, so they get the news to report on it being a cheap fake so that the White House can then say the news has called these things cheap fakes. So we're adopting their framing of this, and we're going to now call them cheap fakes.
Right.
So when we all address this, we all know that it's a cheap fake. Like this is the tactic.
But it's
or
it's real.
It's real footage.
It's real footage of him doing real things.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't have to do none of this if you actually had a president that was functional.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about no cheap fake.
Yeah. And Dave was talking to me today, and he's like, man, because he was talking about that clip of him walking off. And yeah, you could make a case that he was walking off to actually address the other troops that were standing on. But the point is, everyone was focused on what they were doing, and he just kind of left the situation.
Everyone was focused on what they were supposed to be focused
right.
on. What they came there for.
He was saying he wished that people didn't make up stuff. Like, it's already, he's giving you everything you need to show that he's not mentally there.
Right.
So don't make up stuff.
Right.
They give them the ammunition to say,
right.
which is like they're gonna take the ammunition any way they can. Sure. I feel like
sure. What to me is hilarious about this is, you know, it's sad because this is our country and this is our president, right?
Yeah.
But what's sad about it is watching because you know that the news media had to sit down, and once they see people laughing at this, making memes out of it, they can't control that fire.
No.
So they're like, all right,
we got to get ahead of this.
How do we spin this?
Yeah.
Come up with something. How do we come up with something to make it look like this is...
Don't pay attention to
this. I know. Let's call it a cheap fake. You know what I mean? All they would have to do...
You've heard of deep fakes. And then she starts the whole segment like that.
Right. But if she's saying all of this, all she would have to be like, guys, people are saying this. Here's the... Don't even say anything.
Yeah.
Here's the actual footage of him talking to the soldier.
Right.
Pan out.
Right.
And show that clip.
Right. Nope.
Don't try to explain why people shouldn't look at this.
Right.
Just say, guys, here's a clip from the other angle. He was just addressing a soldier.
Like we do with the Very Fine People clip.
Show that clip.
Like they are the ones that deceptively edit everything.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to come up with terminologies.
Yeah.
And how long has cheap fakes been around, Sarah? Tell us. It's been around a long time.
Well,
and by long time I mean 10 minutes ago.
I'm glad you asked that. Yeah. But the sad part is that like the only people that are that's gonna work on is the boomers that still watch them,
of course,
and are lost in the sauce.
I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah,
it's so obvious now that he is an old, frail man who's totally detached.
Yeah, he's being led around.
Come on,
look at this clip from. This was also at the G7 summit. They're in front of a crowd. This is one of the biggest crowds, I think, because Obama's there. He's not. They're not because Biden can't get a crowd to save his life, but Obama was there. So watch this as Biden like freezes up in front of the crowd, and Obama grabs him like, "Come on, Joe." This is one of the other ones that they're trying to say is a cheap fake. So right here, he just kind of freezes and he's just staring into the crowd. Oh, my bad. Let me bring it up. So this is them in front of the crowd. Right here, you see him just freeze, and he's just like staring. And Obama's like, all right, Joe. Come on, buddy. We're going this way. And look at him walk. Like anyone who has eyes can see.
That's what's sad.
And it's like they want us to believe he's perfectly fine. He's going to debate Trump, and he's going to...
God, it'll be Obama in the mask. He comes in doing a cartwheel.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, all you would have to do to disprove any of this is just show the actual clip.
Show what we're missing.
Stop. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to over-explain this, And, and they look silly.
They look dumb.
They look silly.
Yeah, I mean, let's bring another. This is all from this week. This is all from that. Look at this. This is another example of him. Look at Chuck Schumer over there smiling like a weirdo.
Thanks to all members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure.
Bro, can I play that again? Did you see his brain just break right there?
Thanks to all members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary.
Bro. I feel bad for him, man.
Bro.
They don't know.
Cheap fake. It's a cheap fake. Like, come on.
Yeah, because you see, the thing is, they can't lie no more. They can't. It's obvious. There's way too much clips of this.
But the other thing is, like, who was the guy that Congress was trying to subpoena to get his records that he keeps refusing to submit, that did the diagnosis of Biden and said that we won't prosecute him for his classified documents because he's old. He's an old and frail man who doesn't know what he's talking about.
I can't remember who it was.
But this is something that he said.
Yeah.
He interviewed him and said, "Oh, he's gone. Like, there's no way we could convict him. He stole classified documents."
And then they said, "But do you think he should still be president?" Yes, totally. Go for it. Why not? We can all dream, can't we?
Yeah. Like, come on, man. And here, bro, this clip right here is funny. So this is him with, I think, who is this, Macron? They were talking, and then it went, you know how like at the end of these little sit downs, the press starts yelling out questions. And they never let Biden take questions. That's another thing that people have noticed. Like, he gets ushered out of there because they know if he starts to answer questions, it gets bad. And
his ego, he's always had one.
Right.
He wants
to do it,
but it's just he can't go anywhere.
How many times has he said, "I'll take one question, but they're going to get mad at me"? Yep. How many times has he said that? Yep. So watch what he does. Watch what he does when they start yelling questions.
Me here in the Oval Office, and I look very much forward to the NATO summit in Washington D.C. next month. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, will the lack of a war cabinet are you worried about the war? Are you worried about the war cabinet?
Bro,
What?
He just started yelling gibberish.
Yeah, he's mumbling.
And then he laughs about it. That's like an old man. It's like, that's what you sound like.
This is such a charade, man.
Bro.
Yeah, it's silly, and it's making, I don't know.
It's making us look soft. Stupid, that's why Russia is moving ships into Cuba and submarines through Florida waters.
Putin is doing plyometrics with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah. I mean, man. It's crazy. Like that, the way that the level of cape for this guy.
I mean, it's not going to work, bro.
You don't think so? I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
The boomers, of course, yes, they're gonna sync with this shit, but they're not fooling.
Mom said, "Not this boomer."
Nah, that's right, Mom. We know you're not a typical boomer.
People, bro. They're not fooling. Have you noticed this is the first time because the left started this whole on the streets interviewing thing.
Yeah.
They started this during the Daily Show prime when Obama first landed on the scene. They started all of this going on the street asking questions.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel used to do it. Those segments are dead.
Yeah.
They're not asking young people nothing.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. They're sticking to skits and that's about it.
Because young people are starting to
if they go on the street right now and ask young people what they think, they're gonna let them have it.
They're gonna be like, Trump 2024.
They can't use those clips, man.
Yeah.
They can't do it. That era is done for them.
Yep.
So they have to go this way. They have to rely on the punditry of the host. Because these hosts, if anybody by now don't realize, and Fox is doing it too.
Yeah.
If they don't realize that these hosts are bought in, they work for corporations. They're not going to give true opinions. They're not going to speak out. Tucker Carlson was the last person.
Yep. And you see what happened to him.
And you know on the left, there's nobody like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Even though Jake Tapper tries to
pretend.
He's not really.
And Chris Cuomo tries to act like he was that guy.
No. He's goofy. That's the only thing that I've sort of lost respect for PBD on.
Yeah, is bringing him on board.
Bringing him on board because he hired him.
Yeah.
You know
did you watch the debate with him and Dave Smith though?
I did. I mean, I to be honest with you, although I think it was good, to me that he's not admitting nothing.
No. He will never admit
nothing. So I think sadly that's just more of an exercise in ratings and point counterpoint than it is solving anything. Because even if he did, he would be sued. CNN, he would never admit that.
But I think it did expose him even more to people as a fraud.
I think PBD's audience though already knows who he is.
That's true.
It's just that what they saw to me in that interview was the lengths of which media figures will go to not take any responsibility for what they said or advocate. Mm-hmm. That's all it feels to me. And I think people who watch it would see that we now know that media personalities are never they're never going to admit that they were wrong.
Yeah, and they'll jump through hoops to just continue their lies.
Yeah, their resolve isn't to actually report the news.
Yeah.
It is to spin a narrative. And they'll spin the narrative because they probably signed non-disclosures, right? So they will never, even if they get fired, they'll never, like Don Lemon won't never say anything, even when he was on with Elon.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell he's not.
Did you see last week when we showed him with the Nelk Boys?
Yeah. Yeah,
he said Biden's economy is better than Trump's.
But in a weird way, it's like I'm kind of glad that they stand 10 tones down on the lie.
Yeah.
Because it confirms to the people who, because there's still people who are like, they're still on the fence.
Yeah.
It confirms to them that you're on a sinking ship.
Yeah.
So you can choose to believe it or not, but you know.
Yeah. All right, I got one more clip of Biden. We showed it last week, but I want to show it again just because someone made a nice meme out of it. This is him at the Juneteenth celebration.
I did see this one.
Yeah. Just, cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes. I used to float.
Like, look at his hand position. Look at his face as everybody else is looking normal around him. You gonna tell me that this guy...
What I was made for. What was I made for?
Kamala's trying so hard to be black.
She's going extra with him.
Yep.
Now, this is to me, when I saw this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This to me is one of America's biggest problems.
Okay.
Is the career politician.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we haven't really stopped to analyze what career politicians are.
I think it's starting to become a thing. People are starting to realize.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so because I really believe this, right? Like when we really stop and we look at Congress, and if I find it, I'll send it to you so the next podcast we can show it. But it showed the age of the average politician. We're talking 76 years old.
Yeah.
These politicians are in their 70s.
Yep. And they're never
80s.
letting go of power.
These politicians they're beyond retirement age. These are the people making decisions about tomorrow.
I mean, look at what was her name? The one that like
Ruth Bader?
No. Who was the one that just they had to get out of there because like she wasn't even functioning. Her staff was doing everything for her.
I'm terrible.
We showed it on the podcast.
I know she was like 90.
She couldn't even do votes anymore. She was like,
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And to me, this is sad because what we're watching, and I think this is where they're using young people, and not losing them so much to the right.
Mm-hmm.
What they're losing is the idea of these people have the best interest for our future.
Right.
And they have it all figured out, and we just have to vote for them, and they'll take care of everything else.
Yes.
And I think that they're losing, just like late night TV is gone, just like the radio is gone, just like TV shows are gone, daytime talk show is gone. When I say gone, there's still going to be vestiges of it, but the buy-in isn't there.
Yeah.
Right? The buy-in isn't there. Who calls up the radio station anymore?
Yeah.
Who's tuning in to listen to Howard Stern and all this stuff? Nobody's doing that. I think watching these politicians, these career politicians, who essentially, they're way past their prime. You can look at Joe and tell that Joe is lost.
Yep.
Joe needs to be at home, sitting in a rocking chair, falling asleep, spilling coffee. That you don't need this man making decisions for the free world.
And he's not.
He's not.
We know he's not.
But what I'm saying is the spin is he's in charge.
Right.
Right.
And he's the leader we need.
Right. And I think that's where they're losing young people.
Yeah.
Because nobody's buying this.
Right.
Not losing, bro. I think they lost.
Yeah. Oh, they're still trying. They're gonna try because they know power.
Yeah.
But you know what I see when I as soon as I saw that clip, I saw the same type of stuff that they do all the time, pander to the black community.
Yep.
Yeah.
That Juneteenth clip.
That's why they put Kamala right next to him.
Yeah. And who's the man dressed like a woman that they had in there in that clip?
Oh, yeah, that's a dude that's.
They always got to insert that when it comes to black votes.
Yeah.
They always got to have that person in there.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Billy Porter.
Billy Porter.
Yes.
That's the dude that wore the swan.
Yeah.
At the ball thing or whatever, he wore the dress, right?
Yes. But right front and center in that clip, you see him there. in a dress. Like, why is it always when it comes to black people they got to have that in there every time?
Insulted, man.
And speaking of how the media is trying to spin it, let's watch a little bit of this little compilation. I saw this and I thought it was pretty funny.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation, remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie?
Remember that when he was calling for Jackie? Jackie been dead for 5 years.
Make sure that she was going to be here.
I was sitting, 2 feet from him across the table, and he was, intense.
Have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed. Biden is stately, and he comes with gravitas. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake.
Ageism is an issue. Americans have a rich history of holding people's physical characteristics
this is why no one's watching this
against
stuff anymore.
them. Okay, you can ask African Americans.
This is why
he's older.
Young people, the only people
unfit.
that are watching this and they're like, yeah, are old folks that are so bought in.
I didn't believe that until I started to do when I started to do like more of the refacing stuff.
Yeah,
and older. We get a lot of jobs in retirement.
Yeah,
homes.
yeah.
And it's interesting to watch the dynamic because it's either way left, or
way right, yeah. And their heels are dug in.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is them always assuming that I'm on the left.
Yeah, that's funny.
They always assume that I'm on the left.
Old folks see you coming in there like
there he is.
Yep.
There he is right there.
They're like, that goddamn Trump. Tired of him. He's a racist. Don't you agree?
So you're right. I within the last year I've witnessed nonstop.
Yeah.
Because I used to always ask myself, who is watching this?
Yeah. It's the boom, especially the older boomers.
You're 100% right.
The older boomers from like the 40s.
Yeah.
Those ones are so dug in.
Mm-hmm.
They still trust the news.
The 40s and like the early 50s.
Right.
A lot of them my mom's age too, but my mom is a little bit more, she's got us in her life to keep her balanced out, But they, like you said, because I've noticed a lot of boomers who are Trump fanatics, they're the worst Trump fanatics.
Right.
The worst. Like
deep down inside, I don't think they agree with any of the modern liberals.
Yeah.
But they're so dug in. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because when we have conversation, because like I said, they assume that I'm part of their team.
Yeah.
And when we would talk, and I don't give my opinion, I
ask questions.
I ask questions
Yeah.
just to hear what they have to say. But I don't do it in a way to be condescending to
Right.
them. I do it in I'm doing it more to, well, why do you feel the way you do?
Mhm.
Like, just give me some information,
Yeah.
just to hear what they say, and I can tell what they're clinging to is the vestiges of the old liberal party and what it was.
Right.
And I think because when they start, and they'll tell you on their own, they don't agree with the LGBTQ stuff, they don't agree with the kids stuff,
Yeah.
they don't agree with that, but they're so dug in.
It's about racism. It's
Yes.
about
anti-women,
anti-women,
racism,
yes,
and
abortion unions,
That's it.
anti-racism,
because most of them are worked in unions.
Yeah.
So the Northeast is heavily union based.
Right.
So they know that Republicans aren't into unions.
Yeah.
And that's going to mess with their pension.
Right.
So that's what it is. Once you start saying, because they'll openly say, I don't agree with the kids stuff, and I don't agree with that. They'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't ask them. Like I said, I don't give my opinion.
Right.
But I can tell they're dug in on certain principles that they've heard.
Women's rights.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
So it's not worth, and I'll never argue in somebody's house about that. I'm just more curious of like, oh, okay. Why do you think?
Get paid.
Oh yeah, well, I ain't trying to.
James is a spy. He's getting intel over there,
right? Plus, it's like it's not worth. It's not. I've learned over the years, it's not worth. The win that you think you're gonna get, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. I would just say to them, this one particularly, we've done a few jobs for her now, and I said, listen, what type of future do you think your kids are gonna have with this thing? And she's like, you know what? I really don't know.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have to say that it is. I was like, well, don't you think that we should hold either political party feet to the fire on the decision they're making, because it's going to affect your grandkids?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I see, on the left, them constantly pushing this idea of like our democracy's at risk. This is a threat to our democracy, our democracy, our democracy.
Right.
And the counter to that, especially from people that know better, know that like democracies are, even presidents have said this in the past, that democracy is two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So this country was not set up as a democracy. It was set up as a constitutional republic. But but there's a target even on that phraseology now, where I saw it on X actually. There's a bunch, someone compiled a bunch of news outlets saying how the right wing is pushing this idea of a constitutional republic because they don't believe in democracy.
Right.
What they don't understand is like, no, this country was set up, 3 branches of government, checks and balances. The votes matter, but it's not. There's a electoral college for a reason.
Right.
Because if it was a straight up democracy and the popular vote mattered, all of the urban liberal city folk would decide what happens to the people in the middle of Utah that live a totally different life than you live, and that's not cool.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I was gonna say this. So on this one job, I was no one was home, and I guess, she wasn't home at the time. She came home, and one of the issues was the now that all this anti-vaccine or the pro-vaccine stuff is coming out, and she was like, she basically said to me, she said, "Don't tell me you're a anti-vaxxer." Like she said it that way, like to stop me in my tracks. And I was like, no, and I did get the vaccine,
right? But
I said I regret it now, and she's like, really? I said, yeah. I said I regret it, and she said, why? She's like, no, we absolutely need a vaccine. I said, no, we don't. I said, here's why. And I didn't go into the political side of it. I just said, listen, please help me make sense of this. We went from anti-vaxxers are the problem.
Yeah.
We went into, we must do this for the betterment of society. I said, I lost my father to COVID. I said, so it does affect me personally.
Yeah.
My cousin's husband. There's a couple people that we know. Yeah. Right? I was like, I was sick with COVID. I was like, yes, I do understand the fear and everything like that. I said, but let me ask you a question. I said, and I'm not trying to be a smartest. I'm just literally asking you this question. If this was true, and this was really coming from the left, because we've had some conversations before, that this was a problem, the anti-vaxxers. Then we now have, from the Republican Party to the Democrat Party, within this last 3.5 years, we now open the borders. All right, we went from vaccine, mass. We need to be more proactive in making sure that we're healthy and making stuff. These were commercials that were ran on the hour, every hour. Yeah. Brought to you by Pfizer, brought to you by Moderna.
Don't kill grandma.
Don't kill grandma. There's a lot of this stuff. Then you open a border and say, hey, come in. And not only do they not have the COVID vaccine, we don't even know any. We have no
medical record.
And you're telling me that all of that went away in 3 years?
Yeah. Not only 3 years, it was happening during the time they were making us get vaccinated.
But it's undeniable now that within this short time that you've opened the border and you said this party is responsible for this.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, you're saying we went from this to this and you should ask no questions? Does this make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Right? And she actually was honest.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? She said, I did think of that. She's like, I just think people are just being dishonest. I said, no, not people. The politicians.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're missing it. The politicians are being dishonest.
People are being honest about what they see.
Right.
Like, for me, it was like, so wait, you're telling me that I need to get something to protect you who got something already. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I realize part of it too is this, right? Like I'm in tune into looking at the misinformation myself because the things I tune into, I realize what people are, certain people are looking at. They're not interested in the misinformation.
Yeah.
They just hear that narrative and they run with it. Because I showed her a clip of the politicians with the mask on, and as soon as the camera was off,
they took it off. Yep.
And I said, was there really COVID? A threat of COVID in that room?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not. And so she was more. She was more interested in like, am I anti-vaxxer than she's the information. I realized that's where I went wrong.
But that's why we talk about these spells with language.
That's what it is.
Because it's going to be, oh, are you one of those cheap fake guys?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now you can't even show someone a video.
Can't even show her
because they're gonna say, "Oh, are you a cheap faker?"
Right. And that's what I said. No, I said I just told you I had the vaccine.
Yeah.
I was like, but I feel like, we're being tricked, and her husband agreed with me.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, no, I agree with that. He's like, yeah. He's like, why do we have all these people? I was like, so now. We were saying that the vaccine is not ready for children. I was like, I have 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
They're not getting it.
Yeah.
I was like, but now you bring in massive amounts of people, and now you have children who are coming in. Now you have smallpox. You have all the other vaccines that kids are required to attend school being omitted by those very people who are coming in that don't have no. You think they're bringing over their medical records?
Nope.
I was like, so. We're now introducing a whole new set of problems.
Yeah.
That we were just being told that if you don't take this vaccine, you're irresponsible.
Yeah.
As a citizen, because you're not participating in this thing that was supposed to be the betterment for society medically.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that this is the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it didn't go anywhere.
Right.
But I was just trying to show her, like, and so she's like, where do you get your news from? She was more...
Bro, that is funny.
I always ask that.
Right, and I was like, I don't watch this. I was like, this is corporate control.
Yeah.
I showed her the other clip of all the news channels saying, oh.
She didn't want to see it.
She didn't want to see it, and I realized I made a mistake.
Yeah.
My mistake was I shouldn't.
People are not rational.
I'm not rational, and that's what the mistake was.
Yeah.
But eventually we did come around to have a good conversation.
Yeah.
And I said, here's the thing. I was like, in your generation, you have no choice but to trust the news.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't fact check this.
Yeah.
I said, this is a computer.
It's changed everything.
I was like, if you told me right now, James, there's an Atlantis in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I could go in here now and I could, disprove that.
Yeah.
Back 20 years ago, you could come up with a book that somebody wrote.
Yep.
And you could say, Dr. So-and-so cited this and it's been proven.
Listen, that's where all of modern psychology came from.
Exactly.
Came from doctors just saying things.
I think that's what it is. I think that older generation, it was simple.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever was said.
The experts.
Believe it.
But that's why that's why these phraseologies work so well on them.
Right.
Because they are so indoctrinated into that. Trust the experts. You don't know any better. Let us do the research for you. Don't do research. The worst thing you could do is do your own research. They said these things on the news that they watch. Question though, are these white people or black?
They're white.
Yeah. I could tell from the story.
Yeah.
Because if it was black, it would have just been about racism.
I feel that that's an easier argument for me though.
Yeah.
It is the racism thing.
Yeah.
Because when they're arguing that, when they're arguing racism, or whatever, I tend to always say no. It's more cultural.
Yeah.
Because I'm not American.
Mm-hmm.
So I've lived in 2 different cultures.
Yep.
And
you've been black in different areas.
Right. So it's like I'm giving their perspective. And I think one of the things is what I've noticed about liberals, especially white liberals, if you're black and you have an opinion that's different than them, white liberals get upset very quickly.
Because they're like, how dare you not think like every other black person is supposed to think?
Right. Because you're supposed to fall in line.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, so when we have these conversations, and honestly, I've learned to just put my AirPods in, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It really isn't worth it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, speaking of blacks and Trump, this is Juneteenth, right? Where we talk about the slaves.
1 day for the blacks, though. A month for the gays.
A month for the gays, yes. 1 day for the veterans as well.
1 day for the veterans. That's true.
Yeah. 1 day for those that were slain at war.
If you
gays,
yes.
If you
you have February.
If you like, if you are eating from the Postmates bottom friendly menu, you get a whole month.
Yes. Will you be
Gross.
naked? Will you be naked on a float? You get a whole month.
So someone has taken the time to do a little research about all of the presidents in the world, all the presidents that have existed in the United States, and how many of them have owned slaves. How many do you think there are?
How many presidents have
owned slaves?
Whew.
I want to say,
or come from a family that has owned slaves. Let's say that.
I would say, from what I've heard, I would say all but one.
What do you say?
All but one? I was gonna go really low. I was gonna go like
the family.
7.
7 presidents come from a family that have owned slaves or have owned slaves themselves.
Wait, I did see a thing where all the presidents except for one.
Okay.
All of them except for one. I'm gonna say that.
Okay, y'all. Okay, let's go to the research for the answer on this one.
Let me see if it's Henry Gates.
A new report from Reuters today found that every single living president is a descendant of slave owners, except for one. That's not Barack Obama. Turns out Donald Trump is the one who didn't actually have.
Oh, my bad. It's not on the screen. All right, let's play it again. Let's get the screen effect.
A new report from Reuters today found that every single living president is a descendant of slave owners, except for one. That's not Barack Obama. Turns out Donald Trump is the one who didn't actually have ancestors that owned slaves. And they called him a racist. They called his family racist.
I think so. I think all of them are related too.
They are. From
what I
except
heard.
for one.
Except for one. Yeah.
Interesting. They all come from. They all can be routed back to the same lineage.
Here's another fact too.
Yeah.
Sonny Hostin's family owned slaves.
I saw that.
You guys watch that show?
Yeah, I haven't watched the show, but I've seen all the
Finding Your
clips.
Roots?
I always see the clips on X because it's hilarious.
Larry Davis,
Angela Davis. Angela Davis' family came over on the Mayflower.
She didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
She didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so disturbing to them.
Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Kamala Harris family.
Wow.
Owned slaves in the Caribbean. I think that's the thing too. Me being from the Caribbean, a lot of people don't think that happened anywhere else but America and Brazil. But the Caribbean had slaves. We just didn't have segregation. We didn't have. When I say segregation, I mean like open whites only blacks.
Yeah.
There was vestiges of that, but not as bad as it was here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's mainly because of what happened in Haiti.
Yeah.
With Toussaint Louverture.
Wasn't like most African descendant in the U.S. and Brazil, South America are from slave, right? The slave trade.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. I mean,
Brazil even more. Brazil had
most of Brazil came from Angola, but Caribbean and North America was mostly Senegal, not Senegal, Nigeria.
Yeah, Ghana. Yeah. Brazil had, I think, 10 times as many slaves
and way more brutal
as the U.S. did.
Way more brutal.
Yeah. I mean, matter of fact, South America, I think, as a whole, Mexico had more slaves.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know that the U.S. actually didn't have as many slaves as a lot of these other places.
No. Because that was like a rich person thing. For them to have, like most of the people that own slaves.
And another interesting fact about slavery I learned recently that I didn't know: 40% of the slave owners were white women.
Wow.
Yeah, I did not know that. That's a nicely tucked away little vestige that people don't realize.
Yeah.
And there were black people too. I seen.
Yeah, they were.
Videos.
But in that context, somebody said that many of them were people who bought their family members.
Yeah, I did see that.
But you couldn't say I'm buying my family. You had to buy.
You had to buy them as a slave.
So they're listed as a bill of slaves for a slave.
Right. But it would be actually a way to free them from their bondage. Yeah.
But no, the Sonny Hostin one.
Yeah.
Right, and you could tell they know this is gonna look bad.
Yeah.
You know, especially the so-called activist black folks, right? Like it's because they're so
anyone who
dug
owns
into it.
because they're always looking to that as a marker for you're a bad person if your family owned slaves or you come from some type of privilege or you have to atone for that in some type of way.
Right.
So if you can attach that to them,
which would kill the whole reparation thing.
I was just about to, do a whole thing with that. Like, so how do you do that? How do you fight for
Everybody
that?
had to do a 23andMe, man. I mean, it obviously, the Angela Davis one, like her family was most Black Americans are mixed with Europeans.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're not gonna get away from that.
Yeah.
Like, you could clearly tell when you look at Black Americans and you look at Nigerians,
Africans,
they look different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, we have different shades in this room. But for me, it's like Jamie and I'm half Black. Jamie's half Black.
Yeah.
But I'm not light skinned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
but you're half Indian though.
But no one sees that. Though.
Yeah, they
like,
don't.
I'm not light skinned. So
right.
You're not gonna. People don't know. I'm just dark skin means black.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But huh?
I said I'm darker than Jamie.
Everyone's darker than me.
I mean, you're not part Black, but I'm saying like your ancestors.
I might be. You ever see my mom's hair?
My
dabbling Black.
My daughter and my wife were laughing at the fact that I was president of the African American Culture Club. And my daughter was like, "How were you the president?"
How is this possible?
Yeah. And I was like, "They voted for me, man."
Right? Back then, it wasn't so contentious. As
No. And I think like people identify me as Black.
Yeah.
Black people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think white people do too. Like,
Yeah.
you know how many times I've been called nigga by white people in my life?
Right.
Like, you wouldn't think it,
How many
but
times I've been called that?
yeah, true.
Within a couple years.
Wow. Get out of here, you nigger. Yeah. But yeah, so, speaking of slaves, speaking of Black, it is Juneteenth, and I saw that Juneteenth was trending today. So I wanted to open that up and just go through the rabbit hole of X and see what comes up as Juneteenth is trending.
Let's take a dive.
Let's take a little dive through the Juneteenth trending tab. First thing that comes up is this video by this person. Let's see what they say.
When I hear woke people explain Juneteenth, it makes me wish that Rosa Parks personally forced y'all to sit in the front of a school bus and go to history class. Now walk with me.
Oh, gosh.
Somehow the left has convinced you that Juneteenth was the abolition of slavery and when a Black revolution arose, but what it really proved is that some people remain enslaved mentally, and that's all it takes to keep you on the plantation. If you know the actual history, Democrats kept Black people enslaved for 2.5 years after slavery was abolished until white, mostly right-wing men came on June 19th, 1865 and said, y'all have been free since 1863. Get off the plantation and go get a job. I wish we could celebrate what Juneteenth actually is, but instead we continue to let the left repackage segregation and sell it back to us. There is no such thing as a Black Independence Day, but if that's what you want to call Juneteenth, then I don't want to see y'all twerking on a boat on July 4th.
This is why I hate wearing my Apple headphones in public. Because I always see so many people with them now. It's just like one of those stupid, like, this is what you wear. This is what you get now. This is a trending thing. They actually do sound really good for Bluetooth headphones. They're probably one of the best sounding Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, wow.
But I just hate the
You hate being
lumped in with the trend of the people that they have no idea. They're just doing it because they're expensive and it's
you can
what
give
you.
them to me. I'll wear them.
No, I can't do that.
No,
I can't do that. They were a gift. Somebody would be very mad at me. I would never buy those myself, by the way. So that was the first video that comes up.
I mean, he's not lying about that.
He's not.
That was the start of the Republican Party, right? I think that happened where? Somewhere in Iowa or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a lot of... People don't understand that it was a lot of right-wing Christians that, in particular, were the reason why slavery was ended.
Yeah.
I think that's just what... I think if we really slow it down a little bit, I think what we're witnessing is the school system, and the true teaching of history have been corporatized, because they have to have you buy into these things. So this side of history, knowing that Republicans did do a lot of this stuff, that there were black Republicans long before integrated into the party, voted, and was black men that were voted and voting, and they were senators and they were appointed.
Yeah,
we never heard that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So why did that not happen? Is that not written? It's written, but it's not taught.
It's not taught
in these Northeast liberal based cities. It's just not.
And it's not taught that, like, even later when Jim Crow South happened and like all of these Klan members these clans started to
they were Democrats.
They were all Democrats.
George Wallace was a Democrat,
but it was mixed up in because they were all Christians too.
Right.
So that whole idea of like the Christian, in the name of Jesus, we're getting these blacks out of here.
Right.
But they were Democrats.
They were Democrats. They were calling themselves Dixiecrats at first.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to secede.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of these little tidbits of history that are just omitted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just not included. So when we hear racism, or what people are reacting to is the old South.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can't dismiss that. That was a terrifying time.
Yeah.
But quietly or slowly, the Democrats have sort of distanced themselves from their own past and just, let's label them this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were able to make the Republicans look racist because they were against certain political policies that were being passed in the 1960s when it came to like the welfare programs and things like that. So a lot of the Republicans were against these programs that black people were seeing as like, this is for us because we deserve this.
Right.
So the Democrats were able to say, no, we want you to have these things. They didn't understand the long game plan of this.
Right. And then, Nixon did start the war on drugs, which affected at first.
Yeah.
But when you look at the war on drugs from Nixon to all the way up to Clinton, the Clinton era of the war on drugs, Biden being one of the people who write the crime bill. Nixon, when you look at you have to look at the numbers though.
Yeah.
We hear stats, right? So when you look at the numbers,
but wasn't Nixon a Democrat too?
No, he was Republican.
Oh, he was.
But he started the initiative because he was using the CIA.
Yeah.
Because remember, there was still the Black Power movement,
right? And
they were trying to label the black. They knew that they can get when Nixon went wrong and the Republicans went wrong with black people was this: they used the Black Power movement as a way to solidify their base with the South, and most of the Southern voters switched from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party because they were using this fear of blacks taking over.
Yeah.
They were using that. But the war on drugs started with Nixon. Harry Ann Slinger started it way in the 1940s with the war on marijuana, drugs. They made all these movies on PBS.
Yeah.
It was Your Mind on Drugs,
right.
blah, 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 blah.
Right. Blacks are going to rape your women.
So that started. That was by the Democrats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the numbers, the war on drugs and all these other things, the policies that were started by Republicans, very true, continued on into the 80s through Reagan. But the 90s were way worse.
Yeah.
And Biden was one of the people who wrote the crime bill.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was the president at the time, had affected the numbers. You have to look at the numbers.
Hillary came out talking about super predators during that time. Yeah.
So yeah, these numbers, these laws affected black people way more. Way more. They were
three strikes
rule, stop and frisk.
Yeah.
Marijuana was pushed to tier one drug.
Crack was elevated way above cocaine.
Cocaine was tier 3.
Yeah.
Right. All prescription drugs were never.
Yeah.
I think they were in tier 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These were all under the Democrats. So people never look at the numbers. What happened was that's when news started to be corporatized anyway.
Yeah.
So they could take these.
That's when didn't CNN start in like the 80s?
They did.
Yeah.
Right. So they could just quote figures and no one fact checked these things. Right. So these things were slowly omitted. So people just kept on hearing a certain narrative. So when you look at the numbers, you're like, whoa. Yeah, he did start the war on drugs. That's true. That initiative. And they're all saying that because that was a time, I think that was a time, the 60s and the 70s, that were, they were tired of the hippie culture, the Black Power movement.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like rabble rousing. That's what they would call it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Black Panthers were around during that time.
Right.
They were carrying guns.
They were carrying guns.
In open carry everywhere, yeah.
And it was legal.
Yeah, it was.
And then there were a lot of white people, young white people, who weren't with the war stuff.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to fight wars.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope.
So, ironically, those white people end up becoming the senators of today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of the ones that were protesting and getting arrested and doing all the drugs became the professors.
Yes.
In colleges.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's just where people, like I said, when you really even look at like the history of the South, you start looking into, wait, there were Black Republicans?
Yeah.
That, wait, they could vote, they owned businesses, and there were men and women participating in policies. And
the first blacks in government were Republicans.
Republicans, yeah. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of reaction videos on YouTube, and you can see a lot of black people who are way older than us, and they're like, wait, what? The Democrats started a Klan?
Yeah. Yep.
They don't know that.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't know that. I wasn't born here, but I was just told
right-wing racist. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting, man. But let's keep looking at the Juneteenth thread here. Let's see. How many of these videos do you think are going to be people fighting?
Probably all of them.
Because the very next one is a big ass fight. Juneteenth celebration. Okay, we got a fight there. We got a fight there. What's this thing? Oh. Wigs flying off. Okay. Celebrating freedom. This is the right to bear arms. She threw a... Oh, gosh. All right, let's see. Free entrance days. So the National Park Service waives entrance fees on Juneteenth, which it claims is National Independence Day. Shockingly, it does not do the same for the actual Independence Day of July 4th. Celtics fans celebrating the title, but remembering Juneteenth is tomorrow. Breaking. Florida Transportation Secretary Jared Perdue mandates bridge lights to display red, white, and blue for the entire summer. No one displays for Pride, Juneteenth, gun violence awareness in Florida. Okay. Oh. What's this? When celebrating Juneteenth tomorrow, people should keep in mind that it's the day to honor the end of slavery and celebrate resilience and achievements of the black community. See video. Oh boy. This looks like a rap video. I can only imagine. Look at what her shirt says.
Oh no.
What's it say?
See,
I heart O. Okay.
See, now this is... But the only reason people are... Because these people are... They're not taught truth.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way.
There's no way. I mean, we were talking about this before. You get here because people are always going to try to one-up the previous generation.
We're living in that culture.
Yeah, it's like Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, they blew up from being raunchy, from being strippers. You got Sexy Red.
Yep.
So now you got someone coming up behind them that's like, I'm going to do it even bigger.
I have to go further.
Do you guys want to hear any of these lyrics?
Not really.
We got to listen. Come on. We got to do it for the people. This is I've taken the time to do a little research.
Do that dick, hang low. If it do, I want some more. Can you shove it in my guts? Can I put it in my throat?
Okay, all right. I've had enough. I've had enough.
Oh, Lord.
Historic homecoming of grandmother of Juneteenth. When Opal Lee was 12, a racist mob drove her family out of their Texas home. She was gifted a new home on the very same land today. Oh, that's nice. Wow.
And right above that is that song.
That song.
Oh.
Like, you would think it would be more stuff like this. I think about that so much, about how my grandfather was forced out of North Carolina because his dad, you know, and
real racism.
Yeah. But at the end of his life, he went back there and bought land. You know, there's still property out there that Jake gets letters for.
Paid him taxes.
He's like, yeah, if you don't pay these taxes, we're about to confiscate this. It's like a small lot.
Right.
The property taxes are like $200.
Right.
But like,
he ain't paying that.
Nah. But you know, this land is it. You know, he went back down there and he bought a house and he established the land back there.
Just think about that, man. You'll never be here.
Nope.
If they stay.
Yeah. So we got Joe Biden's thing. Okay, we saw that already. Yeah, wasn't too bad. Only a couple fights. Oh, I got to show y'all this.
Oh, no.
Did you see this?
I saw this.
What is that?
Video had me rolling.
Oh.
So developing. This legless woman is going viral on the internet for twerking on a yacht. America is very unique. Take a little look at...
Legless?
Yes. Ready? Of course, it don't want to load. Hold on, let me refresh. Come on, X. What the? Okay, I gotta turn the music off. That is horrible.
Wow, man.
She's bro, she has no legs.
What?
And she's twerking on the side of a boat.
And if she falls in, she won't be able to swim. That's what I was thinking.
I was just telling Mo how when I went to Jamaica, I had to save a bunch of people who couldn't swim.
Oh no! What are members of the?
Who's the can't swim club?
Oh no!
Let's just say they all celebrated Juneteenth this week. It was funny because Jess was like, "Yo, I didn't know that was a thing."
What, Juneteenth?
No,
black people can't
swim. Black people can't swim.
Oh yeah, she did say that.
Yeah.
Because
my mom said no.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Clearly, Jessica hasn't gone swimming with her black friends.
Yeah. Like,
she has black family members who know, how to swim.
Are those Caribbean blacks?
No, American black. They have black. Okay.
My dad was determined to not let us be a stereotype. He made us learn how to swim young. But yeah, bro,
Hey,
it was
black don't know how to swim either, bro.
What?
That's true.
Your sister.
None of your sisters know how to swim.
They can swim.
Nah.
They can?
Nah. None of them can swim.
I'm ashamed of them.
None of them can swim.
Well, not me, man. I'm in there.
Yeah. But it was funny because we went on one of them boats, those catamarans that take you to the Dunn's River Falls, a little excursion. Of course, there was a ton of people on there twerking and on their little.
Do the whole story. You gotta do the Rasta.
I will.
Yeah, I got it.
So there was an old Jamaican man that was like, he was the one letting people on and off the boat to because it comes to a stop at some point in the water where you can get out and swim in the ocean. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, clear waters. But it was a little choppy that day. Yeah. So the boat isn't anchored. The boat is just stopped.
It's rocky, yeah.
So the boat kind of drifts. You know what I mean? So if you get off the boat, it's drifting away from you. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna just get off and stay in one place. The water is moving. It's an ocean. You know what I mean? So the guy, he gets up there. He's like, "Don't get in the water if you can't swim." You know what I mean? He's telling them, I'm not saving nobody. Don't get in the water if you can't swim. So of course these chicks, they living their best life. They're it was a whole group of chicks all wearing red bikinis. Too big for these bikinis.
No.
But so they all jumping in the water. They want to, experience the Jamaica trip or whatever. And your sister, she knows.
Did they do it all at once, or was it like?
No, everybody jumped in. Like everybody, it was like you.
It didn't look. It probably didn't think it was that bad.
You put on your life jacket, and you all line up at the little thing, and then you can either climb down the ladder or just dive in. Most people climb down the ladder because they're too scared to dive in. So your sister, she knows her limitations, right? She gets in for like 2 minutes. She feels herself drifting away from the boat, and she's like, help me get back on the boat. So I got her back on the boat, and she's done. She went and sat down. But me, I'm just chilling. I'm swimming alongside the boat, like, because the boat's moving because of how rocky the water is. So I'm just swimming to keep up with the boat. And then like I turn around and I notice that there's a whole group of women.
Oh no.
Waving, can't get back. They done got left. And that old man is like, I told ya, if you can't swim, don't get in the water.
I'm not lifting your big asses up on this boat.
So me, I felt bad. You know what I mean? And they had like a little rope line that went out attached to like a little lifesaver that but they had gotten past the rope.
Yeah.
So they was panicking.
Yeah.
So I had to dive out there and go save like 4 people and bring them all the way back to the boat. And your sister was just shaking her head at me. She was like, of course you would be out there saving people. And the Jamaican man was so mad at them. Every time he's cussing them as they get back on the boat.
I don't know how that's a thing.
Bomba clot.
How is that a thing?
Ross clot swim.
You can't swim.
People can't swim, man.
But okay.
But they feel safe because they got the life jacket on.
Right.
Like you're not gonna drown, but you could get lost out there.
Yeah. And my thing is this. Okay. What's the shame in learning how to? Like
it's fear, bro.
If you go on a cruise, don't you think that
could save your life? Well, if you fall off a cruise boat, it's a wrap.
No, I'm saying
I'm sorry to cut you off, Jamie, or James. Some people, I'm not mentioning any names.
Yeah.
My last relationship, right?
No names though.
No names.
Who can it be?
Oh, I know how to swim. People think, and I've heard this multiple times. People think that they can swim when they can just dip themselves in the water.
Yeah.
Not the floaty kind.
Not like treading water.
Treading water.
Yeah, people think
deep water. They think that they can swim when they can just go
when they can stand up and then go under the pool and make it from one end to the other. They think that means I can swim. Yeah,
that's true.
There's a different.
You drown when you panic. Actually,
that is what it is. Yeah,
it's the panicking is what because you're gonna pull in water.
Mm-hmm.
That's what does it.
Yeah,
because if you stay calm, you can't just stay in there like. You have to move a little bit, but you'll be able to float in the water.
Yeah, that's what I always try to tell my kids.
So when you try to grip,
I always tell my kids that, like, if you don't panic, you won't drown.
Yeah,
like I say, your body naturally floats.
Yeah, and you're gonna get tired.
Take water in.
Yeah.
I mean, take air in. If you have air in your lungs, you're gonna float.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that happed. Where were we at? Oh, we were over at the pool over here.
Okay.
And it was funny because Aria jumped in a section that was a little deeper than she expected. Mm-hmm. And I watched her. She jumped in there. She realized she couldn't hit the bottom. And she didn't panic. She just started treading water. And then she's like, Lacey, come get me. And Lacey went and got her before she tired out. You know what I mean? But she didn't panic.
My daughter panics.
Well, she's still young.
I realize I have to work with her.
Yeah.
Because we pay for swim class.
Mm-hmm.
But swim class is not really... It's just a teenager standing there blowing a whistle. Down to the front.
Really?
Pick up the frisbee. Back again.
That's the swim class?
Swim class.
Yeah. Yo, you have to get them in the water.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
I remember when we lived in the condo, and every summer when the pool would open, I would just go to the pool.
That's the best way they learn to swim.
Yeah, I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna take her.
I taught them how to doggy paddle and tread water. After that, they became little fishes because they were just in the pool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
I think it's if you're with them, they feel safer when they're just there. Because I can see when she's sitting there, she isn't paying attention.
You're right.
You know,
it's about getting comfortable in the water. Because once you're comfortable in the water, you realize like, oh, I can control everything I do here.
Yeah.
And then you can swim.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother you.
Right.
Yeah. When you're afraid of the water, you're like, oh, I'm gonna drown. That's when it becomes a problem. Man. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Let me see. I think I got a couple other clips I wanted to play before we get out of here. Let me see.
Got a plane to catch in the morning.
Oh yeah. You gotta get out of here.
Gotta get out of here. James
All
said
right.
the night was off, and then you called up.
Hey, we gonna get it in. We can get it in. We thought we were gonna have to cancel. My mom was sick. I thought Mon and Jake were both left today, but he leaves tomorrow. So I was like, it's gonna be just me and you sitting
on
here.
a plane. Won't take. I said, y'all missed my joke. Won't taking off that shirt as soon as he gets on a plane. Sir,
you can't take your shirt off when you get on the plane. Oh, okay. I gotta play this. I gotta show this one more thing. In honor of Juneteenth. This story was from a while ago, but I never got to get to it. So this dude, this writer from I forget what
is that Robin Thicke
outlet he's from. Robin Thicke. No. What's this dude's name? Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the article. So his name is Sam Forster, and he wrote this book called Seven Shoulders. Let me bring it up right here. And it says, for 6 decades after the passage of the Civil Rights Act, award-winning journalist Sam Forster performs a daring transformation in order to taxonomize the various types of racism that persist in modern America. Seven Shoulders is the most important book on American race relations that have ever been written. So it's basically a guy who pretended to be black. A guy who walked around pretending. It's this guy who walked around pretending to be black to get the black experience. You know.
You ever seen Soul Man?
Bro. Yes.
This is Soul Man.
Bro, look what I got right here. Queued up. Look what I got queued up right here. I was like, apparently this guy never watched movies in the 80s.
Dude, this is Soul Man.
Let's play the trailer from Soul Man, a movie that they could never make to this day.
Not today.
Congratulations, Mr. Watson. Thank you, sir. I'll do my best.
Some people will do anything to get into Harvard.
It's gonna be great. These are the 80s, man. It's the Cosby decade.
For Mark Watson, all it took was a little soul.
I'd like you to meet my good friend, Kareem Abdul-Ali.
We got Washington here on the coin toss, so he'll take Leon.
That's Watson.
Right. Sorry, Marcus.
Yeah, there may be a problem here. Your roommate was a,
What?
a black Negro.
A black Negro?
You know, there's something
black
really strange
Negro?
about it, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, God, is she beautiful? You gotta believe me.
You must have learned a great deal more than you bargained for.
Tell her I'm white. Don't tell her you're white.
What's going on?
Can we blame him for the color of his skin? Mom, Dad, I'm black.
What? No, you're crazy.
Mark Watson. Come on now!
From the producer of Risky Business, Soul Man.
Bro, I gotta watch this movie again.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
classic.
it, bro. I haven't seen it
It's a
since the
classic.
80s. But I forgot about this movie.
Yo.
Like, this could never exist
No,
now.
it can't.
A white guy who wanted to get into Harvard, so he pretended to be black.
Listen. It is Leslie Nielsen's in it too.
Oh yeah.
He's the father.
That's right. Yeah, but a lot of people were pointing out that it also was a ripoff of a old book called Black Like Me.
Yeah,
you guys ever heard of
I
that?
heard that.
By John Howard Griffin. So apparently this book, Black Like Me, first published in 1961, is a nonfiction book by journalist John Howard Griffin recounting his journey in the deep South of the United States at a time when African Americans lived under racial segregation. Griffin was a native of Mansfield, Texas, who had his skin temporarily darkened to pass as a black man. He traveled for 6 weeks throughout the racially segregated states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, and Georgia to explore life from the other side of the color line. Yeah.
I mean, that's what Soul Man is sort of based on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, come on, man.
But that's why this guy, like, acting like he just did groundbreaking stuff. It's like, bro, this has been done before.
But you know, though, here's the thing, right? This kind of stuff, I'm glad that he's doing it.
Yeah.
Because it shows how dumb it really is.
Modern woke journalism.
Right.
These people that this is another expert.
Right.
This is another expert. Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
I don't remember asking you.
You never hear them like, I'm going undercover as a gay man.
Yeah, right.
You never hear them say, I'm not gay, I'm just going undercover. And I'll tell you the story when I get back.
I want to know what he did, like, as being black. Like, what did he do to make himself black?
Fighting in the videos.
Celebrate Juneteenth, twerk on boats, can't swim,
right?
Pretending to drown. Yeah.
So stupid.
So dumb. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was funny. So in honor of Juneteenth, I figured we would tell that story. My man tried to redo Soul Man.
Listen, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yo, this is Soul Man.
Y'all that didn't grow up in the 80s, you have no idea what you missed out on, man. Yeah. So, man, it's so funny because you said that, and as soon as I read it, I thought of Soul Man, and I went and found that clip. Like, yo, this is Soul Man.
I love all those movies, too.
Yeah, bro. Those cheesy 80s movies. Yeah, Soul Man.
There was a feel to those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not being made today.
No.
Movies suck, though.
Yeah, movies are terrible.
They do.
I was just having, real quick, I know we got to go, but I was saying, we were talking about movies. One of the apprentice with us, and we were talking about movies, and he's like, "Why do you think it is?" I was like, "Movies are made by committees now."
Yeah.
I was like, "Movies aren't made by a director." I was like, "It's been happening for a long time." I was like, "But movies are made by a committee now."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "What I mean by that is, let's say you write a script,
yeah,
and you go present the script, and you have a vision for this script. What's going to happen is when you go pitch that to whoever the producer is or the studio is, the studio house, they're going to say, all right, we need a gay character.
Yeah.
We need a black character.
Yep.
We need a woman lead character. We need a handsome white guy character. Yep. We need a female in distress character. We need a love interest.
Yep.
You can't just plop these people into the story. You have to write a backstory for them. So all of a sudden, we're like, is this movie supposed to be about aliens?
Right.
Or is it, what is it?
Then it becomes not your movie anymore.
It's not your movie no more.
Yeah.
You can't, and it's not just, I know Matt Damon did one recently about the production side of it and the studios and stuff. Forget that. It is the story sucks.
Yeah.
The stories just suck.
Yeah.
You know, they're not good. Aside from the special effects that are way better now with technology, it's just the story goes nowhere.
Yep.
So, like I said, when movies are made by committee, it's not a vision. It's like, you know, I explained what Planet of the Apes was, the original.
Yeah.
I said Planet of the Apes is a social Apes is a social commentary, right? I was like, it was based on the idea that if segregation ended, black people were going to take over. And I was like, I know they don't like to admit that. I was like, but that's what it was.
Right.
And it was, they couldn't just put a bunch of a planet with a bunch of black people
right.
land there. So it's like, it's sort of like what
District 9
is.
Yeah.
District 9 was about apartheid.
But
they used aliens because Neil Blomkamp was like, I'm not gonna recreate this story. There's another one too, but I was like, these stories can be really good if they're done well enough. You know what I mean? But they're not.
Yeah.
You know?
And we take for granted like the Terminator series, the Alien series.
Yeah. They were really good.
Yeah. We had some great stuff.
They were awesome, you know?
My mom said, I never saw it. I want to see it with you, Jamie. Soul Man.
James Earl Jones is in that.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
good. A good, like, quirky 80s movie.
Another good movie to see right now when it comes to the social commentary on rich versus poor is Trading Places.
Oh, yeah. That's a classic. Yeah. Classic.
Because it's more than just a comedy with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
It is what people would do with our idea of class. John Landis directed that.
Yeah.
Class and what we considered educated, uneducated, wealth. What would we do with money?
Yeah.
You know, because we all have this idea like, if I get the money, I'll do it, and you wouldn't. You would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because remember, without the money, he wanted to party and have a good time. When people ruin his stuff, then he was like,
then
no
he
more
was
parties.
mad. Yep. He turned into the stuffy business rich man.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what makes rap culture to me, especially the older rappers like the Jay-Z's and the Puffies, make them to me cornball, is because they try to keep up this image of I'm still cool and hip. No,
yeah,
you're not.
And I'm still street.
No,
Jay-Z, I'm still in the hood.
No,
you're not.
You're not. Cut it out.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up there, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you being here for our Tuesday night podcast where we just talk some stuff, man. We just had some stuff to go through today, but we appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody watching on Rumble. I see y'all over there. I know Stan's probably watching over there, man. He said he's coming back soon. He said the baby's 1 now. He's going to have a little more time on his hands. So he said he's going to come back.
Yes, you guys will finally hear the crumple of snack bags.
Yeah, Stan's going to bring some snacks.
Drinks.
And his backpack full of drinks, yeah. But yeah, shout out to the Rumble people. If you're watching on Twitter right now, Twitch, we appreciate you guys. Again, make sure you guys hit the like button and share the video before you get out of here to help us with the algorithm. All the Facebook people, all our Patreon members, we appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you want to support what we do and you want to become a member, head on over to patreon.com/youngliontv, where you can sign up for as little as $3 a month. Not much at all. And become a member, support what we do, add to the cause so we can grow this community and keep building this thing that we're doing with the Young Lions. And also, we have our merch if you want to go cop some of the gear. And then, when you wear this stuff, it has little QR codes that link back to our pages. If people are like, yo, what's that? What's Young Lion? What's Grateful? What's this stuff? You can rock the stuff and, support the cause that way as well. Also, don't forget we have a show coming up July 26th at the City Winery in Philadelphia. It's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be fun. New music we're doing and some classic stuff. Get your tickets now. Head on over to citywinery.com. And then when you go to the events, you'll see where you can buy the tickets to get yourself a table over there. And we'll see you guys next week, man.
Peace, everybody.
Go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in, ooh.